What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Hustling Sideways podcast. I'm Alan Halas. I'm a music writer.
And I'm Jim Love, and I'm a keynote and motivational speaker.
And this is the Hustling Sideways podcast. When we don't have guests on like we do every other week, we're talking about people's side hustles, passion projects, things that we all go through, just in our passion projects and our side hustles. What
we do in either our free time or the time that we're doing our thing or working with other people or just general life-related things, which I guess is a show about nothing when it comes down to it, right?
Yes, when it all comes down to it, we are a show about nothing.
That's right. Compare us to Seinfeld. There you go. Emmy winning. So today was like something I'm actually doing as we speak. It's talking about collaborating with people. So oftentimes what we do and what we talk about with people are what they're doing by themselves or something that they're pursuing. And when you take what you're doing and potentially work with somebody else to create things, how does it go? Sometimes it goes well. Sometimes it doesn't go well.
Yes.
So it depends.
What is your approach to collaborating with somebody?
I've done it very few times, so I'll throw that out there. Not because I don't want to. I actually do want to do it more often, but because it's just hard to do, especially when you're in speaking and trying to create something. Like you really have your thing that you do, that message that you gave, unless someone like either really compliments it well or is support. It's just hard to make it happen. So I've done it twice now. Once was a year ago with a very good friend of mine, actually someone who's been a guest on the show, Kyle Wilcombe, great guy, graduated with from college, and we were at the Kalahari Resort in Wisconsin Dells last year, and we collaborated on something he was already in charge of that he brought me along, but it was a student leadership conference, and essentially they needed different speakers to fill different slots. So we kind of had like two separate things we did, but they ended up coming together at one time, and it took like a couple phone calls to get there to kind of find out what his goal was and all of it, what I was going to bring. I definitely created something new. Like I kind of did that, and it went well. I think I'll probably end up going back there maybe in a couple of years when some of the students are gone. But it took a lot of work. Like it definitely we know each other well, so we had to go back and forth on kind of what it was going to take. So that was interesting. And then now in about 2 weeks, and actually since we recorded this, probably already happened, but I will be doing a day. Like a training day out in Freeport, Illinois, at a place called Highland Community College, where they do like a servant leadership day. Okay. And usually one person goes and kind of takes over their day of servant leadership. But I'm doing it with someone I've known for about 20 years. We've never done something together. And what's been nice about the collaboration process is we know each other really well. Yeah. So I understand what she's going to do. She understands like kind of what my strengths are. We planned this day out. It probably took maybe 3 hours, I would say, of prep to really get there. We're going to be the people that show up on that day and like everything changes because we get in our element. But she like knows what I should be doing and I know what she should be doing. And it came together really nicely. So it hasn't happened yet, but as you're listening to this, it'll be in the past. But I'm looking forward to making it happen and having us both come together and like do this. And we have 2 hours and I'm doing like a partial keynote, a partial breakout. She's doing the same thing. We're going to go back and forth and like introduce each other, like those types of things. So it'll be fun. And it's working because we are intimately familiar with one another. It's a 20-year friendship. Like I know exactly what who she is and et cetera, et cetera. So it just takes, I think if you got to do it, you got to do it with someone that you know and trust, who can also be honest with you. Like maybe don't do that or maybe do this. And she challenged an idea I had and it was great. I'm like, you're 100% correct. So like just have to go back and forth that way.
Yeah. That's the best is when you know what that vision is for somebody. You know what I mean? I think for me, with what we do a lot of our own shows, but in a sense, I mean, we collaborate with a lot of people, right? Like, whether it's finding bands and working with them, but really the one that I think of for us is we breaking in and collaborated with the city of Milwaukee on Hip Hop Week this year. Yep. So we helped produce an event, and I think that was one where it required some planning because it's something that the pieces are all together from all different parts of the city. So we had to just know what the vision was for our part. Right. And it was more or less conveying to the organizers what we were going to do. Because I know what my core beat battle thing is going to look like. I know how it works. I know how to run the flow of it. Could kind of do it in my sleep at this point. Yeah, right. But it's a lot of like showing that person what it was. And in this case, it was the organizers who were helping pay for like our special guest judge and things like that. So you want to make sure that like they understand the vision of it too. Yeah. Right? But then also there's a give and take of it, right? Like they had to be very cool with what we were doing in order to just be like, you guys got it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, totally. And a lot of people wouldn't believe it, especially when you think of like, oh, you're working with like a city government entity about hip hop and like those pieces don't necessarily always
they don't always fit, right?
But they were very cool about letting us do what we do. That's and awesome. Being able to do it in the way that we do it. And I don't want to say hands off because that sounds bad, but like it was very much like we trust you, we understand you with it.
That's important. I'm kind of surprised to hear that that they let you do your thing.
Yeah, and I think it's only because we had a proof of concept that they had seen what we had done in the past.
This is going to work,
right? Yeah. And they knew the way that we run things. So I mean, it was definitely built on reputation. Whereas I don't have a 20-year friendship with them,
right? Yeah,
but like I could in that sense be like, hey, like. I promise I'm not going to screw this thing up for you.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. And now that I think about it a little bit more about collaboration, like the people who have hired me multiple times to come do a talk, like they know what they're going to get. Like when I like some of these people, like they'll reach out and like no questions asked. Can you be here on Thursday at 5? And if I say yes, they give me the microphone and that's of course my favorite. Like they know what's coming. I know the whole staff. Like my 100th keynote was last year, and I showed up and it was just like I knew every staff member, like I'd been there before, met the guy, knew where to go. I walked in, like they were just like, here you go.
It's like you worked
have fun. Yeah, right. I felt like a staff member, but it was so fun, like because I didn't feel like, because sometimes you're told a little bit more of like what to say or not totally comfortable with, and
we would like it if you went this direction.
Yeah, right. And it's like, dude, like you hired me for a reason. Like, so that is I didn't really think of that as a collaboration in a sense, but like people who are repeat customers, if you will, it's the best. Like they know what they're going to get. I'm a vetted talent. Like they know they're going to come in. It's almost like a family reunion. Like I walk in, I'm hanging out with them, asking about their families. I go in, do my thing, and I leave, and I get some food and call it a day. So it's good. But like collaboration wise too, like if you're actually putting on an event with someone, like in that sense, or or if you're working like with like a musician, that like have you never worked with them before? What do you have to give them? It's just it could be a very. And I've had ones, and it's documented in this show. Like I did a collaboration last year where I thought I was going to do it full time, and didn't work out. We just we didn't get along that well. And great guy, but
just not
very very different values, from what I was doing, and just kind of want to take over stuff I wasn't comfortable with. And after 5 gigs, I was like, this isn't it, and he kind of fired me, but it's fine.
Well, I mean, okay. Well, you know what? It is what it is, though. Like, at least you knew that fit wasn't there.
Totally. So, collaboration is important. We need to do it more often, but how do you do it?
Jim.
Yes.
This podcast is a collaboration.
Oh, shit.
We've been collaborating on this podcast for 5 years, man.
And it doesn't go well. It's a real, you should see off camera. A lot of fist fights, a lot of deliberation.
It was a little bit of a train wreck leading up to today.
Yeah, actually it was. Yeah.
On me and on my cables that I will be replacing. So.
Yeah, that's a good point. We do, that's how we started this.
Yep.
Dang. Well, you should collaborate with someone you've known since college and make a podcast with.
Yes.
That's my suggestion.
Yes.
For 2026.
Well, collaborate with somebody, but you can also continue to watch us collaborate.
There's a transition you're all waiting for. Yeah.
We are the Hustling Sideways podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find us on YouTube. You can find us on LinkedIn. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all of those places. So if you want to be a guest on this podcast, you can also, you can send us an email. It is hustlingsideways@gmail.com. And Jim,
keep on hustling.
We will see you next week.
Peace.